What's up, you guys? It's Adi Mae here, and this week on At 7 We Collide, we are doing tag challenges, like get to know me tag, the 5 seconds of summer tag, like One Direction tag, whatever. So, it's going to be a really exciting week on the YouTube channel, but I thought that instead of doing something fun and, a little weird, I would just kind of get serious and talk about, some things, and I decided to turn it into a tag. The tag that I'm doing is actually the anxiety tag, and I just have about 6 or 7 questions that I found that a lot of people ask about, ask to people with anxiety. So I'm going to answer them. Yes, I do have anxiety, and yeah. The first question is, what was it like growing up with anxiety? So I didn't exactly know I had anxiety until I got older, like 15, 16, up in the teens. It never really was an issue for me until I went to public school. So I can't exactly tell you what it was like. I had always been a backwards kid. I didn't talk to people. I would hide. I wouldn't go if we saw somebody we knew at Walmart, I wouldn't talk to them. I'd just don't talk to me. So it was just every kid, every kid goes through that stage that's I don't want to talk to anybody. I just want to be by myself. I am a quiet person, When did you realize you had anxiety? So I didn't realize that I had anxiety until I was in college, and it honestly was last semester is when I realized it was anxiety. But in high school, 9th grade, I went from private school to public school, and it went from maybe a total of 300 people in the whole school, not even that much, to a 1,500 person school. That's not even a lot of people, but for me it was. So in my high school we would have first, second, and third lunch, and I would actually go sit in the bathroom for my lunch period because I was just too afraid to walk out there in front of 300 kids in the lunchroom. I was afraid they would all stare at me, and when I did walk in there, I was they're all staring at me, they all hate me, I don't know what I did to them. I was afraid to walk through the commons during lunch because you could go out to the commons and sit. So as soon as the lunch bell rang, and if I was up here and my next class was down here, I would go when everybody was walking, and I still felt like people were they were staring at me and they were judging me. And I would run down and sit in the bathroom until lunch was over, and then I'd go to class. Situations that trigger your anxiety. So situations with me that trigger my anxiety is whenever I'm in college now, and I'd go to class, and I would just be walking to class, and there could be, I'm okay if nobody's around, I don't pass anybody walking up the hill to the engineering building or walking to the art school, but as soon as I get in a situation where somebody's walking towards me or behind me, I just I freak out. I'm they hate me, they're judging me. It's really bad. I actually got my hair done the other day, and they messed it up, and I had teal hair for a good solid 2 hours before I went home and fixed it. But as soon as I went out of the salon, I had an anxiety attack because I thought people were it wasn't even noticeable that it was messed up that bad, but I just felt people knew, they knew just looking at me, this girl's hair was messed up, and they were oh, she's the worst kid ever, well, you're so stupid. Why would you, it's just little things like that. Does it feel like to have anxiety? So I relate anxiety with sports kind of because I played softball growing up. When you're starting out in a sport like softball or baseball and you're getting up to bat and that ball comes at you, the first 5 or 6 times you're up to bat, you're scared to death. You are deadly afraid of the ball. You're that ball's going to hit me every time I walk past it, or if it sees me, that ball's gonna hit me. Well, with anxiety, it's that, except instead of you eventually getting over the fear of getting hit with the ball, that fear is always there. It never leaves. You're always gonna have the fear. as much as you try to get over it or as much as you push it into the back of your head or whatever, you're always going to be afraid of the ball. How anxiety affects you as a person. Last semester, anxiety got to me really hard. I was in a major that I didn't want to be in, and I would go to class just because, I would only go to class if my friends were in there, because I knew, like, there was somebody I could sit with and somebody that I could be like, okay, well, you know, like, I'm going to be okay. But it actually got to the point last semester where I would go to my bedroom and lock the door, and I'd just sit in my room. Like, I wouldn't have any contact with anybody in my house because I thought they all hated me. And I would just stay in my room, and it actually led to some self-harm, which is not a good thing. I don't want that to ever happen to anybody else. So the last question is, what helps with your anxiety? Being able to talk to that one friend that knows about my situation to the full extent, being able to talk to him really helped me. And also the fact that I discovered YouTube, which sounds super cheesy, I know, but with YouTube, you're talking to a camera and you're not talking to anybody's face. You're there, and you know, it's you and a camera, and you can relate. There's going to be somebody out there in the world that has the same issue, and because you're talking about it, you know, they can relate to you, and honestly, you can relate to them. And there might be somebody out there that doesn't know what's going on in their life, and they're just like, oh, I don't know what's wrong, why does everybody hate me? And they see a video like this, and they're like, you know what, I have anxiety, and it's not, that there's nothing wrong with me. It's just how my brain functions. So, I just want to end it with, if you're watching this and you feel like you might have anxiety or you just need somebody to talk to, my Twitter is in the link below. My main channel link is in the link below. My email is in the link below. Honestly, I'm just here for anybody that has, like, issues, because not really anybody was there for me. So I want to be there for someone that doesn't have anyone there for them either. So, yeah. If you like this video, give it a great big thumbs up. And don't forget to check out everybody else's video on the channel. And I will see you guys next Tuesday.